Hello, this is Katie from Vintage and Vinyl. I'll be spinning some rockin' 50s records every week here on my channel, as well as sharing some cool Coca-Cola collectibles and other neat vintage finds. Stay tuned! Hello, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. In this video, we are going to be talking about Record Store Day. Now, Record Store Day is one of my favorite days to go shopping at a local record store. And it's really fun to get in line super early in the morning, like we're talking 3 or 4 in the morning, and try to get in line in hopes to get that particular album that you want. Now, if you don't know what Record Store Day is, Record Store Day happens twice a year. They have it usually in the middle of the year, and then again Record Store Day Black Friday, which is just a little bit smaller than regular Record Store Day. But your favorite artists release a album for Record Store Day on vinyl, and you can go pick it up. Now, the caveat to that is not everyone has a chance of getting that particular vinyl. The reason is they only release so many copies of that vinyl worldwide, and then there's a mad race to try to get it, especially for more popular artists. So one artist might release a new vinyl and there might only be 1,000 copies in the US, and you're not even sure if your record store is going to get it. So you have to stand in line and wait and hope that when you get in they have it. So last year at Record Store Day Black Friday, I went in line probably about, I think it was 4 a.m. I didn't do anything too crazy because Record Store Day Black Friday, like I said, is smaller. And you don't really need to get in line super early in my town because there's only 2 or 3 record stores that participate, and they're smaller. Now, the line at the one record store near the downtown area can wrap all the way around the building. So you definitely want to get in line early for that. But the other record store out near the beach doesn't ever seem to have a super long line for Record Store Day Black Friday. They do for Record Store Day. So last year I picked up Chuck Berry live in London, and I was so excited to get this. Now, the reason I say that is because, one, there's a limited number of them being released around the US, but also Record Store Day tends to do better with newer artists or classic rock and roll that's been sort of re-released onto vinyl. So Chuck Berry is a very popular artist, but in this area he doesn't do very well. And in fact, I've been laughed at a lot of record stores when I go in and ask for Chuck Berry or any type of 50s music. They just don't seem to have it. So I was really concerned that the record stores, even though Chuck Berry is very famous, probably wouldn't get this in because it doesn't appeal to their market of customers. But I was very happy. I picked the record store at the beach, and lo and behold, they had 1 copy, and I was second in line, and I snatched it up. The guy in front of me did not want Chuck Berry. He was looking for soundtracks. So yes, that's another thing that comes out on Record Store Day, if you don't know, is also soundtracks for major movies like Star Wars or some of the animated series, and people love to pick those up. The Star Wars record's actually very cool because one of them that's been released has a hologram, so when you shine a light on it, the Millennium Falcon comes up and spins around as the record's spinning, so it's pretty cool. And then some of these records come on different colors, which is neat. So you can see here that this was the Chuck Berry in London that I picked up, and it says Record Store Day. Now, some of these are exclusive just for Record Store Day, and then others of them are going to have a limited release on Record Store Day and then be available later. So you can generally get them maybe at a better price if you wait. Because this record here was $30 for one record, and sometimes records can get really expensive. Also, sometimes people will go and buy up a bunch of one record on Record Store Day and then try to resell it at a much higher price. And some of those records can get up to like $300-400 a piece, which is crazy. And people will pay that because they want it. Now, our record store does a really good thing where they kind of make it so that the first people in line get to go in first. They only let 5 in at a time, and it's in order of the line, which I think is fair, because if you have been waiting like all night, some people really do camp out all night in front of the store, especially if you live in a big city like LA and they do Amoeba Records, which is like one of the largest record stores in the US. People will line up at like 6 p.m. the night before. It is crazy, but I like that they do that and they keep it fair, and they limit one record of each variety per person, so each artist, I mean. So you can't buy like 3 Chuck Berrys, you can only have one. So I was really excited to get this, and it's just on black vinyl, but it's a great record to have, and it has some different versions of songs I had never heard before, because it is a London cut, so it's different, and it's really neat to have that. And then they had another bin of records that did not sell from the previous year for Record Store Day, and I couldn't make it that year, so I was really excited to find the London Chuck Berry Sessions, and this is a really cool album. It's a double gatefold, so it has all this great artwork, and then the records themselves are Black Friday. Now you can see this was an exclusive, so when it says it's exclusive, that means that it is for that day, and they will not release it again, so you'll have to find a copy of it some way if you don't get it. So this is just on black vinyl, and I do save the stickers because I think that's kind of fun just to see, you know, what year I picked it up, and I like that. But this is just a nice 180 gram vinyl. That's that really nice, thick, sturdy vinyl. And this record had some really good live recordings that I never was able to hear before. So it was kind of a unique record to get. And Chuck Berry changed the words in some of the songs. I had never heard that before, so this was really a fun listen. So the reason I wanted to talk about Record Store Day is because the pandemic has really affected it this year. The list, what we call the list, which is the main list of all the records that are potentially going to be at your store on Record Store Day, dropped. And then, of course, the pandemic happened and everything got changed because Record Store Day wasn't able to happen. So now they're potentially thinking about having Record Store Day 3 times this year, and they're going to have it August 29th, September 26th, and then for Record Store Day Black Friday, it will be October 24th. Now, the list that we all have been awaiting is supposed to drop June 1st. So they're going to kind of reshuffle some of the release dates of the records that are supposed to be coming out for Black Friday among those 3 dates. And the list has been taken down, the first list from the year, and they will revise that list and put it back up June 1st. So I'm really excited for that. Now, I typically don't find a lot of records that I want to buy on Black Friday Record Store Day because I don't listen to newer music, and I like classic rock and roll, but I don't like certain bands, and a lot of them are the ones that they are kind of re-releasing on vinyl. So I am lucky when they have something like the Chuck Berry thing to pick up. Other times it's just nice to go because record stores will do discounts that day, so you can get like 15% off your purchase. So it's still worthwhile, and it's really fun to go out in the community and meet other people who love vinyl as much as you do. Now, I hope for this Record Store Day, or the 3 of them, that the Elton John self-titled album is still set to release. It was supposed to release for Record Store Day, and it was going to be on purple vinyl, and I was really excited about that. I love Elton John. My mom loved Elton John. We've listened to it for years, and I love having his music on vinyl, and it's fun to pick up some of these records at Record Store Day. Now, I want to say not all of the records sound great because they are re-releases or repressings of some of the older records. So if you can find an original pressing, I always say go for that. Of course, it is fun to get some of the different colors and the limited variants, because sometimes each record will be different. It might be Chuck Berry, but say they take the vinyl and some is purple splatter, some might be orange splatter, or different, colors. So there's different variants, and it's kind of fun because then that makes certain records more collectible over the years. Now, I love getting records that are colored. I think they're fun. Now, they do release picture discs, and my feeling on picture discs are that they don't sound that great. I have a limited edition Rocky Horror Picture Show picture disc from when the movie first released back in the day, and it's a really fun record, but the quality is not that great. So I went ahead and picked up Rocky Horror Picture Show on that red clear vinyl, reddish translucent vinyl, which is really cool. Now, picture discs basically are just, if you don't know, they're just discs, you know, the vinyl pressed, and then the inside is just a thin paper, and then the other part of the vinyl with the music on top is sandwiched. It's sandwiched in between the two pieces of regular vinyl and clear vinyl. And I just think that sometimes it doesn't sound as good as something that's colored or black. I don't think the color really affects the sound of the vinyl. But it is fun to have picture discs, and if you want to do a whole display of them, they do look really, really neat. So my hope is that Record Store Day will be going on strong. I hope this pandemic will kind of settle down and we can all get back out there to the record stores, because I do miss that. I miss crate digging. It's so much fun when you have an afternoon and you're not busy and there's no stress, and you can just walk into a record store and just crate dig for hours and hope you find something cool. It's really fun. And Record Store Day is a blast. I love meeting all the different people, as I said, in the community. The record community is really great, really friendly people, and that's always fun chatting with them in line about what records they're going to get or hope to get, and that's a lot of fun. So hopefully June 1st, the list will drop as set, and then we will have June 29th, September 26th, and October 24th record store days this year. I really hope so. Again, some of the records plants that are making these records are smaller, and I think there's a bigger record plant that just burned recently before the pandemic started in California, so that definitely will affect some of these release dates on these vinyls, because there's so many people that want to do vinyl right now. It's a very hot item, but not enough plants to really get it all cranked out. So I hope that this works. If you can, guys, please support your local record stores or your local antique stores. I have been able to do YouTube live sales, and I've gotten a few great things off of the sales. And then, of course, the local stores have been doing contactless delivery, so you can go on their Instagram, see what records they have for sale, say, you know, hey, I want to buy that, and then they will just put it in your car when you drive up. So that's a really safe option as well to get vinyl and keep your inventory fresh as you're stuck inside. But I love listening to vinyl. I have really enjoyed it. It's kept me sane during this pandemic, and I can't wait to get back out there. I know all of you guys are waiting to do that as well. So I will keep you posted when the list does drop. We'll do another video. Maybe we can do a live premiere when the list drops and kind of go over it together and see what's going to be on there. So I hope you all stay safe, and I hope you're having a great week. And that is all that I have for you all today. So stay safe, stay in, and binge YouTube.